Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Um, Hi, everyone on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Yahoo. We're back. We're back for another fantastic live. It's so wonderful to be back with you and doing this live together. Today's live is entitled, Are You Aware? So we are really going to have some fun with this. Does it even matter if you're aware or not, is probably what some of you are asking. But yes, it absolutely does matter, and you will understand why after you've watched this and been a part of this live. Because when you're fully aware, there is no more suffering, no more problems, no more turmoil or confusion. None of life's difficulties affect you in the same way anymore. When you are fully aware, there is a peace and happiness that never leaves you, and life becomes effortless. There are way more benefits even than this, so let's get into it. Hi everybody, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining from all the corners of the earth. It's just really beautiful to see your names on the feed, so thank you. What does it mean to be aware? To be aware is like being alert and present. They're the same as being aware. You are aware when you are seeing everything around you, hearing everything around you, feeling the chair you're sitting in or the floor where your feet are standing, feeling whatever you are touching with your hands. You are aware when you are fully present. Here, here and now, right where you are. Right where you are is a gold mine. A gold mine. And we go out in the world looking for it all out everywhere, and instead it's right here where you are. You are unaware when you are listening to thoughts in your head and responding with more thoughts. You are unaware when you're in full dialogue with the thoughts in your head. It's like you're under a spell, listening to the thoughts in your head instead of being fully present. Whether you're getting ready for the day, driving or walking, these are times when you can fall into the trap of being hypnotized by listening to the thoughts in your head. And it really is like a hypnosis. Like we just kind of disappear listening to all of these thoughts. Those thoughts are creating your future life. So when you're having a conversation with someone else, are you fully present listening to them, or are you listening to the comments in your head? Have you ever been walking along a street and someone calls out your name several times before you hear them? Suddenly you shift from being inside your head to being aware and back on the street where life is actually happening. Life is not happening inside your head. And when we are inside our head, we are missing out on life completely. This is not living. This is unawareness. All negativity comes from unawareness. A lack of health, a lack of money, fear, negative emotions, problems and suffering. Anything and everything we don't want in life comes from unawareness. So if you want to step out of negative experiences, including fear, hurt, sadness, problems and suffering, then simply become aware. When you're aware, your mind stops its incessant chatter and your happiness increases. When you're aware, manifestation accelerates because there's barely any resistance and there are no contradictory thoughts to oppose what you want. You start to realize the power you have over the world, and you fall into the perfect flow of life where everything just seems to happen for you. When you're aware, you are in the perfect flow with infinite intelligence, with the universe, where you have access to perfect ideas, perfect decisions, perfect days. Problems just seem to dissolve. You have mental clarity where you can see clearly through every possible scenario. All confusion disappears and life becomes effortless. When you're aware, your capacity to love expands to such a point that you can scarcely imagine, and it is a love that has no fear or attachment. Peace and happiness that no human has been able to describe has become your natural state. Roller coaster emotions are something of the past. Awareness dissolves negative emotions. If you're feeling anger, just be aware of the anger and the anger will dissolve. If you're feeling upset, be aware of the upset and the upset will dissolve as long as you stay aware. When you're aware, you are tuned in to infinite intelligence, where there is infinite potential, infinite ideas, infinite beauty, infinite peace, love and happiness. You are tuned in to perfect abundance and perfection in health. When we first practice being aware, we're aware of objects in the world. This is the first step, and it's an important step. But as time goes on and you become more and more aware, you will begin to notice awareness more and more. It will just happen naturally, so you don't have to do anything. What you do have to do, though, is become aware as much as you possibly can. Awareness was once described by a teacher decades and decades ago through this example. A butler is waiting for his master to return from being away. This was hundreds of years ago. There were no cell phones. So all the butler knows is that his master will be arriving in the next few days. The butler is poised, watching and listening intently for his master's horse to appear carrying his master. The butler always greets his master as he returns home. It's his job, and he mustn't miss his arrival. So the butler has to be very attentive, very present, and very alert to be sure he greets his master on arrival. The butler is very aware. So how do you become aware? You ask yourself, am I aware? It's the simplest thing in the world. One question, am I aware? And when you ask yourself that question, notice that just for a trillionth of a second, the mind stops. For a split second, there's peace. You actually begin to notice everything around you. You are here, aware and alert and present. Here is where your dream life is waiting for you. Notice the difference between awareness and when you fall into unawareness and you're listening to the thoughts in your head. Each time you ask the question, am I aware, you become more and more aware. It is that simple. Every time you think of it, ask, am I aware? You want to bring yourself out of your head and into the world, life and awareness, and then do your best to stay as awareness. Alternatively, you can ask, am I conscious? Then do your best to stay conscious. Or ask yourself, am I present? Then do your best to stay present. They're all words for the same thing. The first thing you'll notice after asking the question a few times each day is, little trills of joy and happiness begin flashing through your heart and chest, just because you have opened the infinite well of happiness inside you. Now look, I've just given you a snapshot of what is in the book, an audio book of The Greatest Secret. It looks like this. This looks like an ad, but it's not. It looks like that. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, I would absolutely love it if you did. It doesn't cost anything. I would also love to hear from you in the comments and to know if any part of this live has helped you. And now to the questions. Okay. So we have received hundreds of questions, and so I'll do my best to answer as many as I possibly can. If your question isn't specifically addressed, by the law of attraction, you'll still receive your answer through another person's question and answer. You need to be aware and alert so as to hear your answer. It's clear that many of the people who've written in have read The Greatest Secret. But if you haven't, I will explain as much as possible so you won't miss anything. Okay, so, they couldn't see the book. Okay, so can you see the book here? Yeah? Great. That's what it looks like. It's actually really beautiful.
We'll put links in the...
We'll put links in the description box, yeah?
Comments
and in comments and description box on YouTube. But the book is absolutely beautiful. And the person who created all the gorgeous graphics is sitting right here in this room. Nick George, brilliant artist, and he created all of the gorgeous graphics in this book. So this is a journey, and for me, The Greatest Secret contains only the best news, the best news you'll ever hear. So, okay, now let me see. Sarah from Germany. Could you detail awareness in context of financial freedom? If someone is on the different end of being free financially, how could awareness be used to shift from lack to happiness and freedom? And did you notice how Sarah was very careful with law of attraction to use particular words at the other end of financial freedom? Really good, really good. Sarah or Sarah? Sarah or Sarah? Sarah. Sarah. We're saying Sarah. Okay. So Sarah, awareness is all the abundance that exists. All the good things we want in life are contained within awareness. On a law of attraction level, the more aware you are, the happier you will be. And by the law of attraction, that puts you on the same vibrational frequency as abundance and financial freedom. So the happier you are from being aware, the more you are drawing financial freedom to you. Not only that, when you're aware, no thoughts about the lack of money can take root in you. Barley from California says, I have a hard time being aware of awareness. Any tips to make it easier for beginners? It's really interesting she says that, because that's a really in-depth question. And good for you, Barley, if you're at this stage. To be aware of awareness sounds like a tongue twister, doesn't it? But it's actually really simple. You really have to do a U-turn, and instead of looking out to the world, direct yourself to inside. Open your attention fully so you are not focused on anything. If you imagine you're on top of a cliff and you're taking a photograph of this incredible view and you want to get the whole view in the picture. So you're not focused on anything in the picture. You're just opening the lens really wide to take a wide picture. That's what I mean when I say open your attention. You are not focused on anything. You just open it up. Open your attention. So when you do that and you open your attention, awareness is right here, fully present, right where you are. See if you can notice it, because noticing it is being aware of it. The moment you can sense awareness, you are being aware of awareness. Another practice that helps is to look at the space between objects. This is a really great practice. It's super powerful. Our mind is only looking at objects. It never looks at the space, right? When we walk into a room, we tend to only look at the objects in the room, never at the space between them. And that's because we're looking at everything through the mind, and the mind is only wanting to look at objects. So look at the space between the objects as often as you can. There is a presence that you can feel when you look at the space, and aliveness. And that presence and aliveness that you feel is awareness. This is a super powerful practice. And so also remember that awareness is always fully present, even when you think you're not aware of it. It's what you are. It's not separate from you. When the mind stops, it's easier to notice awareness. Awareness is also fully present when the mind is going non-stop, but it's much harder to notice it then. It never leaves you. It's the only thing in the entire universe, that is permanent. It's the only thing in your life that has never changed and will never change. It's super obvious when you see it. And when I say when you see it, when you sense it, it's really obvious. It's like, oh, why didn't I ever notice that before? It has been constantly with you your whole life. It is the real you. It's the only way you know you're you. Without awareness, you wouldn't know who you are, your family, where you live. It's a presence. It's fully alive, fully here, no boundaries. It's just fully, fully here as a presence and aliveness wherever you are. Wherever you are, if you're in a car, if you're at work, if you're sitting at a desk, on a sofa, awareness is fully, fully in the room that you are in. If any of you can sense awareness, can you press 1 and let me know? And if you can't sense it, press 2. Remember, if you practice being aware, the more aware you become, you will then be able to notice awareness naturally. Ingrid from Spain. I want to see the guys. Oh, they've got ones. Bless you. Makes me... Oh, goodness. Look at all the ones. Isn't that amazing? Oh, you guys are incredible. Really incredible. Wow. Okay, if you haven't sensed it, don't worry. Don't worry. So you've got the 3 magic words, am I aware? You will sense it. And you will get to a point where you think, how could I have missed that? But it just takes a little bit of time asking, am I aware? But the moment you start doing that, the minute you start doing that, your life is heading in an incredible direction where you are going to be able to manifest effortlessly. And everything just kind of goes your way. So, next question is from Ingrid from Spain. I would love Rhonda to talk a little more on how is life when you live from the infinite being that we are. It would also be interesting to know what were the misconceptions that stopped her from being herself fully and completely. For me, the biggest benefits from being aware and who you really are the happiness you feel, which means you're not suffering from negative emotions. Also, how absolutely effortless life becomes and the end of fear. The best way to know how you're doing with becoming aware is your level of happiness. It's the best guide you could ever have. It was definitely my guide. The one thing that stops many of us from instantaneous enlightenment or total awareness is the mind, and that was the case for me too. It took some internal work to stop going down the rabbit hole with the mind and believing it, and we all know what that's like, don't we? When I found myself believing a story concocted by my mind or a negative thought, I would respond with, that's not true, that's a lie. Until I reached a point where I didn't give any attention to thoughts. These days, I don't have a lot of thoughts going on unless I deliberately think them. My mind is fairly quiet. Awareness is infinite, and our experience of being aware continues to expand. So you can never say you reach the end because you never stop becoming more and more aware, more joyous, more expansive, more glorious, and with life continuing to be more effortless. So I hope that helps you understand that it's worth every step you take. Jessie from Florida. How often do you practice self-awareness? My answer is as often as you can, whenever you think of it. Ask, am I aware? Because each time you ask, am I aware, you're bringing yourself back to the present. You can ask, am I aware, or you can notice awareness. Every time you practice it, it's bringing you closer to total freedom. It depends on how much you want to be free of any suffering. That's why people who are really struggling in life, who have suffered enormously, will skyrocket there quickly because they're desperate to be free of suffering. So many people, when they read The Greatest Secret, just became fully aware like that instantaneously because their life had been really tough. So when your life's really great, it's a lot harder. So there has to be a bonus, doesn't there, for the suffering? So Kai from Germany, any tips on how to extend the moment of awareness and stay aware? I think about awareness several times a day, but sometimes just for a few seconds, and I have trouble in staying aware. Kai, it's fantastic that you think of awareness several times a day. You're doing really well. Because I remember at the very beginning when I realised I became aware and I took a note of the time, and then I said I will write down the time when I'm next aware. And you know what? It was 3 days later. Woo! So one tip I'd give you, though, is when you notice awareness, try and pause. And stop what you're doing. Sometimes you can't, but if you can, just stop what you're doing and try and stay aware for as long as you can. Eventually the mind will come back in, but extending the times that you notice awareness will benefit a lot. Also, one way to stay aware for longer is to increase your observation skills. Observe what's going on around you, the room you're in. Listen to the sounds, the sensations against your skin, your breathing. All of these things bring you to the present, to awareness. So that's one practice that will help you to stay aware for longer. Imagine if we were told that a dragonfly is going to fly into the room we're in at any moment. If we spot it within 5 seconds, we get $100,000. Can you imagine how aware and present we would all become? Okay, so let's do it. So a person is not aware. That's impossible. Only awareness is aware. So I have a question for you, Kai. Only awareness is aware. Who is aware that you're having trouble staying aware? Well, of course, it's awareness that's aware of that. You see, awareness is right with you all the time. It's never apart from you. Cherie from Hawaii, does a person plan to become self-realized in a particular lifetime? For example, did Rhonda plan to become self-realized in this lifetime? Did I? For those who haven't heard those words before, self-realization means to realize who you really are. Your personality, as lovely as it is a grain of sand compared to who you really are. Other words that mean the same thing as self-realization are to wake up, to become enlightened, to become fully conscious, to become fully aware. Cherie, every single one of us wants to become aware in every lifetime. It's the most important intention that each of us has. Many will not make it this lifetime because it just wasn't their time, yet some of us will. It's the most important discovery we can make, and every single person, without exception, will get there eventually. For myself, I do feel as though self-realization was part of my plan before coming. When I discovered the truth of who we are, I wanted to become fully aware more than anything. When you finally realize who you really are, it's like you're remembering who you are. It's like this, oh my gosh, like this distant sort of feeling that you have of who you are. And I felt like I'd finally arrived home after eons. If you are asking me questions about self-realization, which you are, then you certainly plan to wake up and realize who you really are in this lifetime. So I wish you every success. Peter from Tasmania, what a beautiful place. One of my sisters lives in Tasmania. Peter says, I love living from awareness and most of the time now, and recognize and love observing my mind and body, like watching a movie. Let me just go back. Let me start again because I love living from awareness most of the time now and recognize and love observing my mind and body like watching a movie. But I have a vision and intention of doing so many wonderful things on our retreat property and supporting so many people. Like you said, I intend to fulfill my purpose and live my life in the joy of the infinite awareness that I am. So how do I do this? Is it like jumping full on into working with my mind and body, like playing out the character in my movie to do what needs to be done and then stepping back as awareness? It's definitely more effortless now that I am the awareness, but I'm still a bit unsure of how to play the game. Peter, you're doing it perfectly. It makes me so happy to read a letter like yours. It's exactly like playing out the character in a movie when you switch to the world and what needs to be done. And if you're conscious of that you're never ever then sort of lost in the world again, then you're just going to have peace and happiness with you every second of every day. If you're aware that you're switching to a character in a movie, that is it. That's it. As you say, any action we perform becomes far more effortless. It's almost like no effort at all. You are so far along the path, Peter, it's fantastic. You, awareness, are nailing it. Julie from Hawaii. I'm trying to get through as many questions as I can. I struggle with anxiety, particularly while driving. I'm trying to practice the allowing technique of welcoming, and it has worked for other things but hasn't dissolved my anxiety. Can you walk me through how to properly do it? So it's so great that you've been successful with the welcoming practice for other things. That's brilliant. And the welcoming practice, for those who haven't read The Greatest Secret, is a practice in The Greatest Secret. So I'm going to help you understand it a little more now. So let's look at anxiety, because I know a lot of people suffer from it. I did suffer from it many decades ago, but once I understood that it was fear that creates it, it just didn't have a hold over me anymore. It's the person who suffers from anxiety. Awareness never does, ever. So let's welcome anxiety. And for all of you who haven't read The Secret, this is how you welcome something. So firstly, sit comfortably and relax and open your attention wide, like I explained before, so you're not focused on anything. And for anxiety, can you welcome wanting to get rid of anxiety? Can you welcome being bothered by anxiety while driving? And then can you welcome the feeling of anxiety? Because it's just a feeling. It is a tiny, bitty feeling, and you are the infinite being. So keep welcoming. So when you open your attention, I kind of tend to have my palms up when I'm welcoming, because when you're welcoming somebody, you do you open your body up. And so I have my palms up and I just welcome, I just allow. So you would just allow the anxiety to be there, not trying to get rid of it, because the problem with trying to get rid of it is that is what holds it to us, because we're focused on it, right? So these questions that I've given you are going to help you let go of any resistance around anxiety, and then it will be gone. Continue to do them until you don't have a trace of it. The only thing holding anxiety to you is you not wanting it. It's a tricky little setup, isn't it? But you can do it. I know you can do it. You've done it with other things. You can do it with this. Rainita from Philadelphia. How is the welcoming practice connected to being awareness, and how are they related to the law of attraction? So when you do the welcoming practice, your mind goes to the background and awareness comes to the foreground. You open your attention and the mind goes to the background, awareness is in the foreground. With awareness comes peace, happiness, and no resistance. These are key to manifesting. The only thing that prevents us from manifesting instantaneously with the law of attraction is our resistance. And we have resistance because we're not believing. You can feel your resistance. If I said to you, go and manifest $1 million today, notice the resistance that rises in you immediately, right? When you're aware, resistance is gone. So nothing is stopping manifestation. Also, when you're aware, you're happy. And on the happiness frequency is everything you want that is ready for manifestation. So that's how welcoming and being aware are related to the law of attraction. Awareness is the next step after the law of attraction because it eliminates suffering and replaces it with happiness. But nothing changes with the law of attraction or the mind and thought manifesting everything in our life. They all continue as powerfully as ever. It's just that when you're aware, you have little resistance, and so life and manifestation become effortless, okay? Rachel from the UK. My question is, do you have any tips on how to stay more aware when you're flooded with emotion, negative thought, and everything around you seems to be going the opposite way you want? Rachel, the welcoming practice that I've just talked about on several occasions now is what will release negative emotions and thoughts. It would be very challenging to try and be aware at very emotional times at the beginning. Later on, it's not at all challenging, because when you're in a real emotional turmoil, the mind has got you, right? So the welcoming practice makes you aware and dissolves negative emotions at the same time. So for the welcoming practice, step 1, welcome anything negative. So open your attention and just welcome anything negative, including all negative feelings. Allow the feelings to be present without trying to push them away, without trying to change them, get rid of them, eliminate them, but don't focus into them. So kind of have those feelings in the background. Don't be like focus, because you know law of attraction, what you focus on expands. So kind of separate yourself from the emotion, allow the emotion to be in the background. At the same time, do some gratitude every single day. If you need a guide, then the Magic has 28 practices of gratitude in it. So, yeah, I'm sure those things will help you a lot.
We'll put that link up too.
Oh, we'll put that link up for you. Shah from Dubai. Gosh, we're all over the world. How do you discover your hidden unconscious beliefs, or the beliefs that are stopping you from taking a particular action you want to take? Whatever the action is that you want to take, whatever it is, say to yourself, mentally or out loud, that you're taking it, and wait and listen for the thought that contradicts it. So here's a simple example. Let's say you're passing a Ferrari car dealer, and in the window is the latest, most fabulous looking Ferrari. You say, I'm going to go in and buy that Ferrari. And now listen to what the mind comes back with. You're joking. You can't afford that. Now you know that you have a belief about the lack of money. And to override that belief, you need to focus on prosperity and abundance every single day. You need to flood yourself with multiple thoughts about prosperity and abundance. If you find that it's fear that's preventing you from taking a particular action, then all you need to do is welcome the fear. Allow the fear to be fully present without resisting it. Fear can only stay alive when we resist it and when we don't want it. When we welcome it, it dissolves. So resistance is like when we're like, no, I don't want that, right? We're pushing something away. No, I don't want to feel this way. No, I don't want that. And welcoming is this, right? And so that's the resistance, and the welcoming takes the resistance right away. That's why it's so amazing. Melissa from Sydney. I'm barreling through these. Hi, Rhonda. I've been trying to manifest contact with you. So hopefully, this is my chance. Well, you did manifest it. I wanted to ask how we stay in awareness all day. I notice I go in and out of awareness and would like to know how to stay aware without drifting in and out through the day. See, everybody that's saying all of this is incredible, because if you were noticing several times a day that you're drifting out, it means you're coming back to awareness several times a day. And that's incredible. When I read a letter like yours, I'm so thrilled, because the fact that you notice it, it's incredible. In the beginning, for a while, there seems to be a process where we are awareness, then we're back to being a person, then we're back to awareness, then we're back to a person, and so it goes for a while. But the more we are aware, the closer we are getting to staying in awareness throughout the day. Pardon me. I'll have a sip of water. Become more and more aware of your surroundings. Be present as much as you can. Be super observant to everything around you. Be present wherever you are, whether you're doing the dishes, drawing out money from an ATM. This will definitely help you to become more aware and stay as awareness. And I just want to say, with the person and awareness, I just want to say, you never lose the person. But what you realize is that you're the infinite being and the person who is just for this lifetime. You are both, you see. It's all good. It's just all so good. Okay, 40 minutes, guys. I have to wind it. Oh, I've got my daughter is sitting right here, Sky, and she's telling me to wind it up. Okay, so I have something that I want to say to you at the very end, and I'm going to get there.
Somebody asked, please talk about Lester Levinson.
Oh,
maybe for another one.
Oh yeah, I can
Paul
talk about.
Williams.
I can talk about Lester Levinson at another time. He's wonderful.
When you first came across him.
Oh, when I first came across him. Do you know when I first came across Lester? Was when we were filming Hale Dwoskin for The Secret. And Lester Levinson was Hale's teacher. And Lester Levinson left all of his teachings to Hale, who has continued on with the work. So that was the very first time. So that would have been 2005. So, gosh, nearly 20 years. Oh my gosh, nearly 20 years. Wow. Okay, so I want to see. All I want to ask you to do is subscribe. Hang on. Let me see.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Here we go. Thank you so much to everyone who wrote in.
And someone was asking where to write in.
Okay.
Questions
Yes.
when the lives come up, and so always on the Secret website, thesecret.tv, there will be posts. Otherwise, subscribe to the Secret Scrolls,
Okay.
and they'll always.
Do you
be
think they heard you?
Maybe, but you should rephrase.
Subscribe to the Secret Scrolls, and if you have a question, you can send your question to thesecret.tv.
Yeah, or on the Secret.tv,
On the
there'll be a link to the question.
There's a link to the questions on our website, so you can do that. You can also truly on YouTube. You can. We, are going to look at all of the comments on YouTube. So on our YouTube channel. So feel free to make any comments there. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to thank you so much. Be kind to you because you're the infinite being. Okay. Be kind to yourself and others. Love who you are because you are something else. You are so much more than you realise. You are magnificent. May the joy be with you until next time. I'm sending each of one of you so much love. Bye. Bye. Thank you for joining the Secret Live Q&A. We are so grateful for your support. For even more life-changing content on the power of manifestation, make sure to subscribe to the Secret YouTube channel and connect with us on your favourite social media platform. Ready to dive deeper into the Secret teachings? Visit us at thesecret.tv to explore further. May the joy be with you.